The doors of the Galactic Council chamber slid open with a soft hiss. Commander Hana stepped inside, her boots clicking against the polished floor. Behind her walked Deho and Minseo, both wearing their best uniforms. The three humans moved forward slowly, their eyes adjusting to the massive hall before them. The chamber was huge. Hundreds of seats rose in curved rows filled with aliens from across the galaxy. They were creatures with 6 arms, beings made of pure light and massive reptilian forms that towered over everyone else. The air hummed with strange sounds as aliens spoke in languages that humans had only recently begun to understand. As Hana walked down the central aisle, she heard the whispers. They started quiet but grew louder with each step. Some aliens pointed at the humans. Others made clicking sounds that their translators said were insults. A few even laughed openly. Deho clenched his jaw. He wanted to say something, but Hana had warned him to stay silent. Minseo kept her eyes forward, trying to ignore the mocking voices around them. They reached their assigned seats near the back of the hall. The location itself was an insult. Important species sat near the front. Humans were placed where their voices would barely be heard. A massive creature stood at the center of the room. This was Zorthax, the council leader. He was a Keltharian, standing 12 feet tall with blue crystalline skin that reflected the lights. His 4 eyes scanned the assembly before settling on the humans. Before Zorthax could speak, another alien rose from his seat. The Vrexian ambassador was smaller than Zorthax, but no less intimidating. His red scales gleamed and his tail swept behind him as he pointed one clawed finger at the humans. "Look at them," the Vrexian said, his voice booming through the hall. "The humans. They come to this council with their primitive ships and outdated technology. We have quantum displacement drives that can cross the galaxy in days. The humans still crawl through space using fusion engines that we abandoned centuries ago." Laughter erupted across the chamber. Aliens from different species who normally disagreed on everything all found humor in mocking humanity. Hana felt her face grow hot, but she remained seated. This was not the time to react. The Vrexian continued. "They build weapons from solid metal projectiles while we harness the power of stars. They send messages using radio waves like ancient civilizations, and yet they dare to ask for equal representation in this council." More laughter filled the air. Some aliens pounded their appendages against their seats in approval. Zorthax raised one massive hand and silence fell instantly. "The Vrexian ambassador speaks truth," he said. "Humanity has been part of this council for only 20 years. In that time, they have contributed nothing of value. Today we discuss the new territorial boundaries." A holographic map appeared in the center of the room. It showed the galaxy divided into colored sections. Each color represented a different species' territory. Hana saw Earth's small blue section shrinking even further on the new map. The new boundaries restrict human expansion to their home system and 3 nearby colonies, Zorthax announced. All other space is reserved for species with proven capabilities. Hana stood up quickly. "We object to these terms," she said, her voice steady despite her anger. "Humanity has earned the right to expand. We have followed every rule, paid every fee, and participated in every joint mission requested of us." The Vrexian ambassador turned to face her. "You have done the bare minimum, human. Your ships are slow, your weapons are weak, your technology is laughable. The galaxy has no room for species that cannot keep up." "We have made advances," Hana replied. "New propulsion systems, better energy sources, advanced materials that—" "Enough!" Zorthax's voice thundered through the chamber. "We have heard these claims before. Every young species believes they are special. You humans are no different. If you truly have advanced technology, prove it." Hana reached into her uniform and pulled out a data chip. "I have evidence here. Our scientists have developed—" The chamber erupted in theatrical groans and exaggerated yawns. One alien made a show of falling asleep in his seat. Another began cleaning his claws as if bored beyond measure. Deho stood beside Hana, his fists tight. Minseo placed a hand on his arm, warning him to stay calm. Zorthax did not even look at the data chip. "We have no interest in human promises," he said. "The decision stands. Your territory is reduced. If you wish to change this, you must demonstrate real capability." The Vrexian ambassador smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "In fact, I have a proposal. The annual military exercises begin in 3 days. Let the humans participate. Let them show us these amazing advances they claim to have." Murmurs of approval spread through the assembly. This was clearly meant as another humiliation. The military exercises were famous across the galaxy. Dozens of powerful warships would gather to test their weapons and tactics. Human vessels had never been invited before because everyone assumed they would be destroyed instantly. "Yes," another alien called out. "Let the humans come. It will be entertaining to watch their primitive ships try to compete." Zorthax looked at Hana. "What say you, Commander? Will humanity accept this challenge? Or will you admit that you are not ready to stand among the great species of this galaxy?" Hana felt every eye in the chamber focused on her. This was a trap. If she refused, humanity would be labeled as cowards. If she accepted, human ships would likely be embarrassed in front of the entire galaxy. But Hana thought about something the Council did not know. Something that was orbiting in the darkness beyond this station. Something that would change everything. She stood straight and looked directly at Zorthax. "Humanity accepts your challenge," she said clearly. "We will participate in the military exercises, and we will show you exactly what humans are capable of." The chamber exploded with laughter again. Aliens slapped their seats and made mocking gestures. The Vrexian ambassador's smile grew wider. "Excellent," Zorthax said. 3 days from now in the Epsilon sector. Bring your best ship, Commander. We look forward to seeing what humanity considers advanced technology." As the meeting ended, aliens filed out of the chamber, still laughing and making jokes about the foolish humans. Hana, Deho, and Minseo walked back through the crowd, enduring more insults and mocking comments. Once they were outside the chamber, Deho turned to Hana. "Are you sure about this, Commander?" "Our destroyer is good, but it cannot compete with their capital ships." Hana smiled for the first time since entering the station. "The destroyer is not what will change their minds," she said quietly. "Send a message to Admiral Heejin. Tell her it is time. The Gumiho will reveal itself in 3 days. Minseo's eyes widened. She understood what Hana meant. The aliens thought they knew everything about human capabilities. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Epsilon sector was a massive, empty region of space, far from any planets or stars. It was perfect for military exercises because nothing important could be damaged. Today, the void was filled with warships from across the galaxy. Captain Junho stood on the bridge of the Danby, watching dozens of alien vessels through the main view screen. Each ship was enormous compared to his destroyer. The Vrexian battlecruisers stretched nearly 2 kilometers long, their hulls covered in weapon ports that glowed with barely contained energy. The Keltharian dreadnoughts looked like floating cities, bristling with plasma cannons and missile tubes. "Captain, we are receiving tactical data from the exercise coordinators," said his communications officer. "They are assigning us to the red team. We will be defending a designated zone against the blue team's attack." Junho nodded. "Understood. Take us to our position." The Danby moved forward, its engines humming quietly. Around them, alien ships powered up their weapon systems. Beams of light shot across space as ships tested their targeting systems. The displays were impressive and clearly meant to intimidate. Junho knew what everyone was thinking. The human destroyer looked pathetic compared to these massive warships. The Danby was only 300 meters long. Its weapons were basic railguns and torpedo tubes. No fancy plasma beams or particle cannons. But Junho also knew something the aliens did not. His job today was not to win. His job was to be visible and predictable, to keep all eyes focused on the Danby, while something far more important remained hidden. 3,000 kilometers away, in the absolute darkness of space, the THS Gumiho floated silently. The ship was completely invisible. No sensors could detect it. No eyes could see it. Not even light reflected off its hull. Admiral Heejin sat in the command chair, her fingers drumming softly on the armrest. Around her, the bridge crew worked in near silence. Every system on the Gumiho was designed to produce 0 emissions. No heat signature, no electromagnetic radiation, nothing that could give away their position. "Status report," Heejin said quietly. Taehyun, the chief engineer, checked his console. "Dark matter cloak is operating at maximum efficiency, Admiral. We are completely undetectable. Energy reserves at 98%. All systems nominal." Heejin nodded. The dark matter cloak was humanity's greatest achievement. Scientists had discovered how to bend space around the ship using exotic matter that did not interact with normal sensors. It had taken 15 years to develop and had cost more than the entire human fleet combined. But it worked perfectly. Weapons status? Hyejin asked. Ji-won looked up from her station. All railgun batteries charged and ready, Admiral. Missile tubes loaded. Electromagnetic pulse generators online. We can fire at any time without dropping the cloak. Good, Hyejin said. Begin recording everything. I want detailed scans of every alien ship. Their weapons, their shields, their engine signatures, everything. Somin, the science officer, activated the passive sensors. Recording started, Admiral. We are collecting data on 47 alien warships. Their communication channels are unencrypted. We can hear everything they are saying. Hyejin allowed herself a small smile. The aliens were so confident in their superiority that they did not even bother with basic communication security. They never imagined that someone might be listening. The military exercises began with a loud announcement broadcast to all ships. The blue team would attack the red team's defensive position. Victory would be determined by simulated damage calculations. Ships that sustained critical hits would be required to withdraw. The alien vessels moved into attack formations. They were not subtle. Massive battlecruisers charged forward with their shields at maximum power. Smaller frigates darted around the flanks. The formations were textbook perfect, exactly as military academies across the galaxy taught them. Aboard the Gumiho, Somin watched the data flow across her screens. Admiral, I am detecting a pattern in the Vrexian shield harmonics. Their shields pulse at regular intervals to dissipate heat. There is a vulnerability window of 0.3 seconds every 12 seconds. Noted, Hyejin said. Mark it in the tactical database. What else? The Keltharian dreadnoughts use quantum entanglement for their targeting systems. Somin continued. But the entanglement can be disrupted with a focused electromagnetic pulse. They would be effectively blind for several seconds. Excellent, Hyejin said. Keep analyzing. I want to know every weakness, every flaw, every vulnerability in their systems. The battle raged around them. The Danbi fought bravely but was hopelessly outnumbered. Captain Junho maneuvered his ship skillfully, dodging incoming fire and landing a few hits on enemy shields. But it was not enough. One by one, the red team's defensive ships were eliminated by simulated weapons fire. The Vrexian fleet commander broadcast a message for all to hear. The human ship fights well for such primitive technology, but courage cannot overcome superior firepower. Surrender now, and we will make your defeat quick. Junho gritted his teeth but followed his orders. All ships, this is the Danbi. We are surrounded and outgunned. Lowering shields and powering down weapons. We surrender. Cheers erupted across the alien communication channels. The blue team had won decisively. The human destroyer had lasted less than an hour. The Vrexian commander immediately began broadcasting the victory to the entire galaxy. Let this be a lesson to all species who question the natural order. Humanity has been defeated in mere minutes. Their technology is inadequate. Their tactics are primitive. They do not belong among the great powers of this galaxy. Aboard the Gumiho, Hyejin listened to the mocking broadcast. She had been watching for 5 hours now. 5 hours of recording every detail of the alien fleet. 5 hours of identifying weaknesses. 5 hours of being completely invisible while the enemy celebrated their easy victory. Admiral, Taehyun said from the engineering station, we have complete data on all alien vessels. Weapons profiles, shield frequencies, engine signatures, communication protocols, everything. Hyejin stood from her command chair. The time had come. The aliens thought they had proven their superiority. They thought the exercise was over. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Tactical, prepare firing solutions on the Vrexian flagship and its 2 closest escorts, Hyejin ordered. Helm, position us directly between the flagship and its support vessels. Weapons, charge all systems but do not fire without my command. The crew moved quickly, each officer performing their assigned tasks with precision. The Gumiho glided silently through space, moving into a perfect attack position. Still invisible. Still undetected. Hyejin watched the main view screen as the Vrexian commander continued his triumphant broadcast. The alien was so focused on his victory speech that he did not notice the readings on his own sensors beginning to change. All systems ready, Admiral. Ji-won reported from weapons. Engineering confirms we can decloak without any system delays, Taehyun added. Hyejin took a deep breath. This moment would change everything. The galaxy thought it knew what humans were capable of. That perception was about to be shattered. Attention all stations, Hyejin said calmly. Prepare to decloak on my mark. Once we are visible, I want perfect execution. Show them what humanity has built. Show them what they missed while they were laughing at us. She paused, watching the Vrexian commander continue his mocking broadcast. Then she smiled and gave the order that would echo across the galaxy. Decloak now. The space between the Vrexian flagship and its escort vessels suddenly shimmered. The shimmer grew brighter, like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Then reality itself seemed to tear open and the Gumiho appeared. The human warship materialized from absolute nothingness. Its hull was jet black, so dark that it seemed to absorb the light around it. The ship was massive, nearly a kilometer long, with sleek lines that looked both elegant and deadly. Weapon ports glowed with blue energy along its sides. Strange devices that the aliens did not recognize dotted its surface. For 3 full seconds, nobody reacted. The alien crews stared at their sensor screens in complete confusion. Their instruments had shown nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then suddenly there was a capital ship sitting right in the middle of their formation. The Vrexian commander's triumphant broadcast cut off mid-sentence. His mouth hung open as he stared at the view screen. The massive black ship floated there, impossibly close. Its weapons pointed directly at his bridge. "What is that?" someone shouted on the open channel. "Where did it come from?" Another voice cried out, "Sensors are going crazy. The readings make no sense." Panic spread through the alien fleet like wildfire. Ship commanders barked orders at their crews. Weapon systems powered up. Shields went to maximum. Every vessel scrambled to respond to the threat that had appeared from nowhere. Aboard the Gumiho, Minjay listened to the chaos on the alien communication channels. Dozens of voices talked over each other, filled with confusion and fear. Some demanded explanations. Others called for immediate attack. A few simply repeated that their sensors must be malfunctioning because what they were seeing was impossible. "Admiral, I am detecting weapons lock from multiple vessels," Jiwan reported calmly. "They are preparing to fire." "Let them see what we can do," Hyejin replied. Tactical display on main screen. The view screen changed to show a tactical overlay. Red targeting brackets appeared around 3 alien capital ships. Perfect firing solutions calculated in real time. Attack vectors that would penetrate their shields at the vulnerable point Soman had identified. Estimated time to critical damage, 4.2 seconds. Transmit that display to all alien vessels, Hyejin ordered. Let them see exactly what we could do if we wanted to. Minjay sent the transmission. On every alien ship, tactical officers saw the same thing. The human vessel had perfect firing solutions on their 3 most powerful warships. The calculations showed shield penetration points they did not even know existed. Attack patterns that would destroy all 3 ships before they could effectively return fire. The Vrexian commander stared at his tactical display in horror. The numbers were undeniable. If the human ship fired now, his flagship would be crippled within seconds. And there was nothing he could do to stop it. "This is Admiral Hyejin of the human starship Gumiho," a calm voice said over the communication channel. "Your weapons are locked on my vessel. That is a hostile act. However, I choose to interpret it as a misunderstanding. Lower your weapons and we can discuss this situation peacefully." Nobody moved. The alien commanders did not know what to do. This was supposed to be a simple military exercise, an easy demonstration of their superiority over the primitive humans. Instead, they faced a warship with technology they could not understand and weapons they could not counter. "I am waiting," Hyejin said. Her voice remained pleasant, but there was steel underneath. "You have 10 seconds to lower your weapons. After that, I will assume you wish to continue this exercise under live combat conditions." The Vrexian commander finally found his voice. "Stand down. All ships lower weapons and shields." "That is an order." One by one, the alien warships powered down their weapons. Energy signatures dropped across the fleet. The immediate threat of combat faded. "Thank you," Hyejin said. "Now I believe you had some questions. The first question on all of your minds is probably, where did we come from?" She let the question hang in the air for a moment. "We have been here the entire time," Hyejin continued. "The Gumiho arrived in this sector 7 hours ago. We watched as your fleets assembled. We observed your weapons tests. We listened to your communications. We recorded your tactics, and you never knew we were here." The implications of those words hit the alien commanders like physical blows. 7 hours. The human ship had been watching them for 7 hours, completely undetected. Sungmin executed a slow barrel roll, the massive warship moving with impossible grace. The Gumiho glided through the alien formation, Passing within 100 meters of several capital ships, the aliens could do nothing but watch as the human vessel demonstrated complete control of the battlefield. "Your sensor technology is impressive," Hyejin said as her ship moved. "Quantum detection arrays, gravitational wave sensors, neutrino detectors, all very advanced. But they cannot see us. Our stealth technology operates on principles that your science has not yet discovered." The Vrexian commander finally managed to speak. "How long?" he asked, his voice shaking slightly. "How long have you had this technology?" "Long enough," Hyejin replied. "Humanity has been working on stealth systems for decades. While you laughed at our primitive fusion engines, we were developing dark matter manipulation. While you mocked our simple weapons, we were building ships that could move through space like ghosts. You assumed we were stupid because we did not show you everything we had. That was your mistake." Yunji brought up another tactical display. This one showed the positions of 12 other vessels scattered throughout the sector. All of them had been invisible until now. All of them were human stealth ships. "The Gumiho is not alone," Hyejin said as the new display was transmitted to all alien vessels. "We have an entire fleet of stealth ships. They are positioned throughout this sector. Some of them have been here even longer than the Gumiho. They have been watching you assemble your forces, studying your formations, learning your weaknesses." The alien commanders looked at the display in growing horror. 12 ships. 12 invisible warships that could strike from anywhere at any time. Their entire formation was compromised. Every tactical advantage they thought they had was meaningless against an enemy they could not see. "Let me be very clear," Hyejin continued. "We did not develop this technology to conquer you. We developed it because you would not take us seriously any other way. For 20 years, humanity has tried to earn respect through cooperation and peaceful development. We followed your rules. We paid your fees. We participated in your councils, and you responded with mockery and contempt." Her voice hardened slightly. "So we stopped showing you everything. We stopped asking for permission. We built what we needed to survive in a galaxy that saw us as inferior, and now you understand that your assumptions about humanity were wrong." The Vrexian commander's claws gripped his command chair. "What do you want from us?" he asked quietly. "Respect," Hyejin said simply. "We want to be treated as equals. We want fair territorial agreements. We want a voice in the Galactic Council that is actually heard. That is all we have ever wanted." She paused, then added, "And we want you to understand something very important. This exercise proved that we could have destroyed your entire fleet before you even knew we were here. We chose not to. We chose to reveal ourselves peacefully. Remember that choice the next time you consider dismissing humanity as primitive." The communication channel fell silent. Nobody knew what to say. The galaxy's understanding of human capabilities had just been completely overturned. Aboard the Gumiho, Hyejin allowed herself a small smile. The message had been delivered. Now they would see if the galaxy was ready to listen. The video spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Within 2 hours of the Gumiho's appearance, every major news network was broadcasting the footage. Within 6 hours, it had reached even the most remote colonies. By the next morning, there was not a single inhabited world that had not seen the human stealth ship materialize from nothing. The Galactic Council building became a storm of activity. Emergency sessions were called at all hours. Representatives who normally moved slowly now rushed through the corridors. Species that had not spoken to each other in years suddenly found urgent reasons to meet in private chambers. In a secure intelligence briefing room, Kyung-soo stood before a holographic display showing technical data about the Gumiho. Around him sat military commanders and scientific advisors from a dozen different species. All of them wore expressions of deep concern. "The technology is called a dark matter cloak," Kyung-soo explained. "It manipulates exotic matter to bend space around the ship. This creates a bubble where normal detection methods simply do not work. No radar, no thermal signature, no gravitational distortion. The ship becomes effectively invisible to all known sensor technology." A Keltharian admiral leaned forward. "Can this cloak be penetrated?" "There must be some way to detect these ships." Kyung-soo shook his head. "We have been analyzing the footage and sensor data from the exercises. So far, we have found no weakness. The human ship appeared exactly when and where it wanted to. It controlled the entire encounter perfectly." "One ship," a Vrexian officer said dismissively. "They revealed one ship. Perhaps that is all they have. Perhaps this was an elaborate bluff. Nari, the defense analyst, pulled up another display. That is what we hoped at first. But our investigation suggests otherwise. We have been reviewing sensor logs from the past 6 months. Unexplained anomalies, ships that disappeared from tracking without explanation, communication relays that recorded strange interference patterns, military installations that reported security breaches with no signs of intrusion. She highlighted several incidents on the galactic map. We believe that human stealth ships have been operating throughout Council space for months, possibly longer. They have been gathering intelligence, learning our capabilities, mapping our defenses, all without anyone knowing they were there. Silence fell over the room. The implications were staggering. If humans could move through space undetected, then no location was truly secure. No military secret was safe. No strategic position was protected. How many ships? The Keltharian admiral asked quietly. We do not know, Nari admitted. The humans revealed the Gumiho and indicated that 12 other stealth vessels were present during the exercises. But those could have been the only ships they have, or just a small fraction of their total fleet. We have no way to tell. A smaller alien, one of the Zentari species, spoke up nervously. This changes everything. Our entire military doctrine assumes that we can see the enemy coming. If humans can strike from nowhere, our defensive strategies are worthless. It is worse than that, Kyung-soo said grimly. Think about the political implications. Every classified meeting could have human observers we cannot detect. Every private negotiation might be recorded. Every secret arrangement between species could be known to human intelligence. The room erupted in concerned murmurs. Species that had secret alliances suddenly worried that their partners might have been compromised. Leaders who had made private deals began to panic about what information humans might possess. The Vrexian officer who had spoken earlier now looked pale. His species had been planning a military buildup near the Andromeda border. It was supposed to be completely secret. If humans had known about it, then multiple other species might know as well. The diplomatic consequences could be severe. What do the humans want? Someone asked. They have this incredible advantage. Why reveal it now? Why not simply use it to dominate us? Young-ho, a council member who had studied human culture extensively, stood to answer. Because that is not how humans think. They developed this technology defensively, not offensively. For years, we treated them as inferior. We dismissed their concerns. We restricted their territory. We mocked them openly. He gestured to the image of the Gumiho still displayed on the screen. They built these ships to ensure their survival in a galaxy that would not respect them. Now they have proven that they deserve respect, and instead of using their advantage to attack us, they are asking for peaceful cooperation. But can we trust them? The Keltharian admiral demanded. They hid this capability from us for years. They spied on us without our knowledge. How do we know they will not use this power against us? Jihi, the security chief, had been silent until now. She finally spoke, her voice measured and thoughtful. The question is not whether we trust them. The question is whether we have any choice. The humans have demonstrated a clear technological advantage. They could have used it at any time to cause harm. They chose not to. That decision tells us something important about their intentions. She pulled up tactical assessments on the display. Look at what they did during the exercises. They had perfect firing solutions on our 3 most powerful warships. They could have destroyed them instantly. Instead, they simply showed us what they could do and asked us to stand down. That is not the behavior of an aggressive species. So what do you recommend? The Keltharian admiral asked. Jihi looked around the room at all the worried faces. I recommend that we accept the new reality. The balance of power in this galaxy has shifted. Humanity is no longer a minor species that we can push around. They have capabilities that we cannot match. Our best option is to work with them, not against them. The Council is already preparing new proposals, Young-ho added. We will offer humans full partnership status, equal representation in all decisions, fair territorial agreements, everything they have been asking for. The Vrexian officer looked bitter. So we surrender to their demands? We reward them for deceiving us? No, Young-ho said firmly. We correct our mistake. We should have taken humans seriously from the beginning. We should have treated them with respect. Instead, we mocked them and dismissed their achievements. This is the consequence of our arrogance. Nari brought up a final image. It showed the locations where human stealth ships were believed to have operated over the past months. The map was covered in markers. Dozens of them, perhaps hundreds. Think about this, Nari said quietly. While we were laughing at human technology, they were building an invisible fleet. While we were enjoying our sense of superiority, they were learning everything about us, and when they finally revealed themselves, they did it peacefully and asked only for fair treatment. She looked at each person in the room. We have been given a gift. The humans could have used their advantage to dominate or destroy us. They chose partnership instead. I strongly suggest we accept that offer before they change their minds. The meeting ended with an understanding. The galaxy would adapt to this new reality. Humanity would take its place as an equal power. And every species would remember the lesson. Never underestimate someone just because they appear less advanced. Sometimes the quiet ones are the most dangerous. As the representatives filed out, one question remained in everyone's mind. If human stealth ships were watching right now, what else did they know that they had not yet revealed? Commander Hana walked through the doors of the Galactic Council chamber for the second time in a week. But everything had changed. The whispers that followed her now were not mocking. They were respectful. Some aliens even sounded nervous. The chamber filled quickly as representatives took their seats. Hana noticed that several species had sent higher-ranking officials than before. The Vrexians had sent their supreme commander instead of just an ambassador. The Keltharians had brought their chief counselor. Everyone understood that this meeting was important. When Hana and her team reached their assigned seats, they found something unexpected. Their seats had been moved. They were no longer in the back of the chamber. New positions had been prepared for them in the front row, next to the most powerful species in the galaxy. Zorthax, the council leader, descended from his central platform and approached the human delegation personally. He extended one massive crystalline hand in the human gesture of greeting that he had clearly practiced. "Commander Hana," Zorthax said formally, "on behalf of the Galactic Council, I welcome you and your delegation. Please take your seats of honor." As Hana sat down, the entire chamber rose to their feet. It was a traditional sign of respect usually reserved only for the founding species of the Council. Deho and Minseo exchanged glances of surprise. This was the same chamber where they had been mocked just days ago. Zorthax returned to his platform and addressed the assembly. "We are here today to correct a great injustice. For 20 years, humanity has sought partnership with this council. For 20 years, we responded with dismissal and contempt. We judged them by their appearance rather than their capability. We mistook patience for weakness. This was our error, and we acknowledge it now." The chamber remained silent. Every species present knew what had happened at the military exercises. The footage had been analyzed by every intelligence agency in the galaxy. The conclusions were all the same. Humanity possessed technology that fundamentally changed the balance of power. The territorial restrictions we placed on humanity are hereby removed, Zorthax continued. Furthermore, we offer humanity full partnership status in this council. Equal votes on all matters, full access to council resources, and a permanent seat on the security committee. Hana stood to respond. The chamber fell even quieter. Everyone wanted to hear what the human commander would say. Would humanity accept these terms? Would they demand more? Would they use their advantage to seek revenge for years of humiliation? "Thank you, Council Leader," Hana began. "I appreciate the gesture, but before humanity accepts this offer, I must speak honestly about what led us to this moment." She looked around the chamber, making eye contact with representatives from different species. For centuries, humans have been underestimated. When we first developed nuclear power, some said we would destroy ourselves. When we reached our moon, others claimed it was luck. When we joined this galactic community, you saw us as primitive children who needed guidance. You were not entirely wrong, Hana admitted. We were new to galactic politics. We did not have quantum drives or plasma weapons. Our technology was basic compared to yours, but you made a critical mistake. You assumed that basic meant inferior. You forgot that every advanced species started somewhere simple. She gestured to the holographic display at the center of the chamber. Humanity developed stealth technology not because we wanted to spy on you. We developed it because we needed to ensure our survival in a galaxy that would not protect us. We could not compete with your weapons, so we made sure you could not see ours coming. We could not match your speed, so we learned to move without being detected. The Vrexian Supreme Commander shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He was one of those who had mocked human technology most loudly. Now he understood how dangerous his arrogance had been. We revealed the Gumiho because we wanted to end this cycle of disrespect, Hana continued. We could have remained hidden. We could have used our advantage in secret. But that is not who humans are. We believe in transparency. We believe in partnership. We believe that the galaxy is safer when we work together rather than against each other. She paused, then added with quiet intensity. But make no mistake, we also believe in defending ourselves. The stealth fleet exists. It is real, it is powerful, and it will continue to exist because we will never again be in a position where others can threaten us without consequences. Hana pulled out a data chip and placed it on the podium in front of her. This contains a proposal. Humanity will accept full partnership status in the Council. In return, we offer to use our stealth capabilities to protect all Council members. Our ships will patrol the borders. They will watch for threats from outside our territory. They will serve as an early warning system for the entire galaxy. But, she emphasized, this cooperation requires mutual respect. Humanity must be treated as true equals. Our opinions must be heard. Our territory must be honored. And when we speak in this chamber, you will listen, not because we demand it through force, but because we have earned it through our actions. Zorthax considered her words carefully. Your proposal is fair, Commander. Does anyone in this assembly object to these terms? Silence. Not a single species raised an objection. Even the Vrexian commander who had led the mockery just days ago sat quietly with his head bowed. Then it is settled, Zorthax declared. Humanity is granted full partnership status effective immediately. Welcome, truly welcome to the Galactic Council. The chamber erupted in applause. This time it was genuine. Species that had dismissed humanity now understood what they had almost lost through their arrogance. A partnership with humans meant protection from threats they could not see coming. It meant access to technology that could revolutionize their defensive capabilities. Most importantly, it meant that they would not have this incredible power turned against them. The Vrexian Supreme Commander approached Hana after the session ended. He looked humbled in a way that his species rarely displayed. Commander, I owe you and your people an apology. I mocked your capabilities without understanding them. I treated you with contempt when I should have shown respect. I was wrong. Hana nodded graciously. Apology accepted, Commander. But remember this lesson. The next time you encounter a species you consider primitive, look deeper. They might be hiding capabilities you cannot imagine. Light years away aboard the Gumiho, Admiral Hijin watched the Council proceedings through a secure transmission. She sat in her command chair, surrounded by her crew. They had done their part. Now it was time to see if the galaxy would accept the new reality. Admiral, Jinso suddenly called from the communication station. I am receiving an urgent message from Deep Space Monitoring Network. Multiple unknown contacts detected approaching from beyond charted territory. Energy signatures do not match any known species. The bridge became instantly alert. Hijin stood and moved to the tactical display. Show me. The display showed dozens of contacts entering the galaxy from an unexplored region. They moved in organized formations. Their energy signatures indicated massive ships, possibly larger than anything in Council space. Unknown hostile force, Hijin said quietly. This is exactly the kind of threat our stealth fleet was designed to handle. She turned to her crew. Send alerts to all human stealth ships. Begin reconnaissance operations immediately. We need to know what we are dealing with. And send a message to Commander Hana. Tell her that humanity's offer of protection just became very real. Throughout the galaxy, invisible human ships received their orders and began moving toward the unknown threat. They would be the first line of defense. The silent guardians that nobody could see but everyone now depended on. Back on the Council station, Hana received the alert message. She immediately called for an emergency session. When the representatives gathered again, confused about the sudden summons, Hana stood before them with a grave expression. Members of the Council, she announced, we have detected an unknown force approaching our galaxy. Our stealth fleet is moving to investigate. This is why humanity developed these capabilities. This is why partnership matters. We will face this threat together. The representatives looked at each other with new understanding. They had gained an ally at exactly the right moment. The species they had mocked was now their protector. And somewhere in the darkness of space, dozens of invisible human warships took up positions between the approaching threat and the civilized galaxy, ready to defend those who had once laughed at them. Because that was what humans did. They protected others, even those who had not deserved it. That was their strength. That was what made them special. And that was why the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again.